just due to some personal things going on. So hello, everyone, wherever you are. My name is Dale Shabizian. I'm a SCORE volunteer. As Dennis mentioned, I'm a subject matter expert. I help people in matters related to really specific things. I still have a day job. I'm the CEO of Cape and Plymouth Business Media, 25-year plus entrepreneur, over 20 years in web design, and 15-ish years in digital marketing. I'm hoping to double that. I hope I'm going to last until retirement doing this. Everything changes so quickly. Sometimes I come in the day before my presentation and I go through and things have changed. So we're going to go through some things here. We're going to maybe do some live demos if people have questions. I would say you're going to get a copy of the recording. I think listening to the concepts and understanding, connecting dots to your business is going to be the most important thing today. Things like how do I can usually be solved through YouTube. You know, how do I add this button? How do I do this? But the concepts we're going to learn today are going to be really important. They're going to be things I learned maybe 10 years ago and I still use today or I've built upon. So we're going to talk about, we want to maximize our activities on Facebook without spending money. In order to do that, we really need to revisit some social media and marketing concepts. Planning and setting goals is going to be huge. We'll talk about your Facebook business page. Content is king. You've heard this cliche over and over. We're going to talk about how do we brainstorm ideas? What are some tools that I use or other people have found useful? And we're going to talk about community building. How do you actually build a following on Facebook? Because if we're posting and no one's paying attention, what's the point, right? And I always like to have a disclaimer. You know, I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of podcasts. These are tips and studies. They're stats. They're not the gospel. You may hear some things today that may not really apply to you. That's normal. They're guidelines, right? You're going to hear some things today that do apply to you. You're going to use your best judgment on what will apply to you and what will not. And when you're in question, go to your circle, or your customers, and ask them, if you're creating a piece of content, ask them what their opinion is about it. Okay. So this is a slide I made just as a reminder. I like to show before every presentation. When you start your business, and when I say business, I might say organization, nonprofit. I'm going to use them all interchangeably. It could be a brick and mortar store, a restaurant, a nonprofit, a bakery, a remodeling company, accounting, whatever it is. You start your business, or you start this organization, and you start at the bottom of this pyramid. Nobody knows about you, right? You file your paperwork, you're in business, but nothing really happens, right? At some point, you start getting found. Either you're creating a Facebook page and you're posting, or you're posting on your personal page, or you're handing out business cards, or you're telling people start to hear about you, right? If people don't know you're an expert in this new business, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to gain some traction and get some sales or get some momentum in that business. You really want to be viewed as an expert, right? People want to hire people or give money to people that solve problems. And there's ways to do that. As we move up the pyramid, the next phase in our business you really want to be is you want to be top of mind, which means you're constantly being found and being in front of people. And they view you as an expert, as someone who can solve their problem, okay? And that's our job in marketing. Another slide I like to show is we're obviously engaging in Facebook for different reasons, right? One of the reasons might be to sell something. That's a very common reason, or to raise awareness, or to get someone to do something, to take an action. We have to remember what's typical consumer behavior, right? We have a want or a need for something. It's usually triggered by a thought, a friend, something we see, maybe an advertisement, maybe just a problem you're encountering. You're like, man, I really wish I could get rid of this one thing that's happening. Well, people have this need, and they're gonna visit websites. They're gonna do some research. About 80% of consumers perform an online search before buying a product or service. It's really important to have a really strong online presence overall, and SCORE has some great webinars on SEO and Google and how you can do that. They're also going to visit your website, and we have some webinars on how to make your website better. Either way, when you're posting on Facebook or doing anything in marketing, you have to remember people are doing research, people are ready to buy. And the two best examples are that I always use are when summer comes, I love flip-flops, right? And I saw an ad once for these checkered flip-flops. And if you've seen my webinars, I tell this story a lot. A friend of mine had these Vans flip-flops that I had as a kid or whatever. And summer was coming and I was like, oh, I gotta have those for the beach this summer. I went out and bought them. I didn't wake up that morning saying I need checkered flip-flops, right? Social media was a great avenue for that product. If I wake up this morning and my internet doesn't work, or my hot water heater blows out and there's 6 inches of water on my basement floor, I'm probably not doing a ton of research. I'm hitting Google and I'm looking for a plumbing company, and whoever answers the phone and can tell me they can come that day, provided they have decent reviews, that's my buying cycle. Totally different. So you want to think about that and how people will buy or do research in your business. How that shapes your content and your goals is going to be huge. Another thing we want to remember in social media is it's social media, not selling media. We have a tendency when we start our business or sales are slow or we're aggressive, it's like, buy, 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 buy. This is what I'm selling. This is what I'm selling. This is what I'm doing. That's great, but that kind of gets old after a while. So you want to start thinking about providing value and being social, right? You want to build a community. You want to, so I do this, not this. You want to promote ideas and you want to help others. Create and nurture a place where people want to be part of and where they feel appreciated. By making someone feel part of your social media presence, your Facebook specifically, maybe you tag them once in a while, maybe you share their posts and tag them, maybe you mention them in a comment. You thank them for their comment, you click that like button or you hit the haha or the care button if they comment, and you're participating with them. That's a really important step that doesn't cost any money on Facebook. What you want to avoid is constant self-promoting and selling. Today we're doing this, now we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing this. And we're gonna see some examples of how we can shift from one end to the other if you're having a hard time with that. And ignoring people. If you have a community business, you want to talk about, it's okay to talk about what other people are doing in your community. It's okay to thank someone for liking a post or or thanking them for commenting. So if we want to get, so I have a degree in information systems. That's something I didn't put on my first slide. In information systems, one of the first things we learned is a project should be set into 3 phases: about a third planning, about a third doing, and about a third testing. And this social media actually comes pretty close to that. When you plan out, when you set a goal and you make a plan for that goal and you make steps in how you can get to that goal, your chances of being successful are so much greater. If you wake up and you're like, well, it's raining out today, I'm going to post about maybe staying dry. Okay, that's great. That's kind of a human connection type thing. But, also, is that serving some type of a goal you have? Maybe one of your goals is to help educate people, or to, one of our goals actually will be to sell things, but, maybe we have some other goals too. I put myself here on the chopping block at the magazine. Social media is a huge part of what we do. We publish business stories and we publish stories about entrepreneurs and events, et cetera, et cetera. Social media, we want to grow in itself. We want to take social media and find new people and grow our presence. With that presence, we want people to read our digital magazine. We want them to read and sign up for our newsletter. We want them to visit our website. We get paid because we sell partnership spots on these channels, and we also sell sponsorships at our events. So the more people I'm getting in front of that's reading, the more chances I have of getting new sponsors, the more chances that sponsors are getting readers to see what they're doing. And this is my whole ecosystem. It feeds into itself. So when we're doing a post on social media, I have to satisfy one of these three goals to get someone interested in the magazine, interested in the newsletter, or interested in my website, right? And there's ways that we do that. So what I always recommend, and I can show you a live example if you want, it's kind of hard to show on a screen because it's a little small, but I recommend you just start a basic spreadsheet. I use Google Docs. It's a free tool from Google if you haven't heard of it by now or use it. Excel is fine. I define my goals in columns, okay? So I talk about what's my goal. My goal is I want more people to sign up for a newsletter. Okay, great. Who's the audience? Who do I want to sign up for this newsletter? And for us right now, one of our focuses is young people, young professionals. We traditionally, if you look at our metrics, and I'm going to show you how to do that, we draw an older demographic. Well, how do we reach people in their 30s and 40s to get involved in what we're doing, who are going to be in the workforce for 20 years? Those are a great, that's a great audience for us, okay? So that's something that I want to target and be thinking about. What makes people in their 30s or 40s want to sign up for a newsletter? Why would they care? What's the content that would make them stop for a second and look at it, okay? These folks may have different lives than someone in their 50s or 60s. They have different things going on. They're at different points in their career, right? I always create a template for our posts. So if I'm going to highlight a young professional, so we have an event called 40 Under 40. I might highlight a young professional, and I have a template that I use, and my template will tell me exactly, and I'll show you the template. It gives me a sort of a recipe. My recipe is I always use I always use their face, and I always like to incorporate certain elements in the post, which I found over time, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Over time, I've figured out what people react to and what they don't. Also, my spreadsheet is how many times a week or a month or a year am I going to post about these young professionals? And then I'm going to put in there my hashtags, okay? Hashtags aren't real important on Facebook, but there's something I still recommend that you use. So I'm actually going to see if I can pull this up right now. Sorry, the Zoom controls are in the way here. Let's see. Oh, someone moved my file. I'll go back to that later. If you want to see a better example of an actual spreadsheet, I can show you how to do that. Let's move on to the next slide. So first thing we want to do is optimize. We want to create, if you don't have a business page, if you're still using your personal Facebook page, and I see a lot of people do this, that's okay. Realtors, marketing consultants, there are other industries, a lot of artists. Sometimes they stay on their personal page and they keep posting. And the reason for that is they already have a set of friends, and they're getting that content in front of those friends. It's technically against Facebook terms of use to promote business on your Facebook personal page. Now, do people get caught for it and they get shut down? Not really, but one of the downsides is you don't get better insights you can have as a business. And I'll show you the insights at the end of this after we look at some of the posting techniques. You can see what posts, how many people were reached. If it was a video, which I'm going to really highly recommend you do, it'll tell you how many seconds someone watched a video, how many times they saw the video. Your business page is going to give you so much more information than a regular personal page. I've got a YouTube link here. We're not going to watch this video right now, but I am going to post it into the chat here. If you folks want to look at that afterwards as a video on how to set up and optimize your business page. Now, when you set up a business page, you're going to start with 0 followers, right? So one of the first things you want to do is start inviting people to like that page, and there's a process for that. When we say optimize your business page, That's just a fancy way of saying when you create your business page, you want to fill out every single field with relevant, helpful information that somebody is going to see when you invite them to that page or they visit that page. That's going to be your logo, which needs to be in a circular format, a cover in the back, and I'm going to show you a tool on how you can create all these things. Your business name, your address, your phone number, if you want to give someone a phone number, contact information. You can pin things up there. It gets really thorough. You can really create a nice business page. If someone has an interest in your business, most people will use Google for their research, but personally, and still a lot of people will use social media, right? They want to go to your social media profile, see when the last time you posted was, see what you're posting about. Make sure you're a legitimate business. If you have a Facebook page and you're not using it, your business is not going to look as legitimate. So if you're going to have a Facebook page, I recommend you set up the business page and you add all these elements to it so that when someone comes, that's a score in your favor and not against you. Okay. It's also really important to point out, when you create a business page, you create it through your personal account. If that's confusing for people, I can explain it a little bit better. You can still post personally. I can still post as Dale Shabizian, but now I can post as Cape and Plymouth Business, which is completely separate from Dale Shabizian. Most people won't know the two actually connect. When you start posting to your business page, only the people that follow your business page are likely to see that content. Now, if you put in hashtags and someone's researching, let's say, business news, and they click that hashtag somewhere, they might see my post, but more than likely they're only going to see if you have followers to your business page. So we're going to talk about how to get followers to our business page. It's going to be one of the biggest things we talk about initially. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, if you remember when I said, when you start your business, no one knows about you. Well, who knows about you? Your friends, places you volunteer. If you volunteer on boards of directors, if your kids have friends, you want to invite all of these people to like your page. And I have another link here, which I'll paste in the chat, right from Facebook. I'm only going to paste these in here because sometimes they don't translate through the recording. You can invite your Facebook friends to like your Facebook business page through the mechanism that Facebook gives you. And I really recommend you do that. Well, what are some other ways we can get people to like our Facebook page? Remember, every person that likes our business page is someone who can potentially see our content. So it's really important to get that number up. Well, some things that I've done is I put it in my email signature. If it's a new page and you have a newsletter, you can announce it in your newsletter. You can put it on your invoices. If you send someone an invoice, you can say, hey, check out our new Facebook page. We'd love to connect with you and would love to stay connected with you on Facebook. Make it sound interesting. Make the relationship sound two-way. Let's stay connected through Facebook. Any communication we have with your clients, if you're talking to them, hey, by the way, we've got a Facebook page now. Check it out. You can also start following other Facebook pages. So go through your list of clients, go through your list of centers of influence. Your business page can follow their business page and they'll get a notification. And we're going to get into that a little bit more further on. I'm not famous. If you're a famous person, like I remember Will Smith, he's a great actor. When he started a TikTok account, he had like 60 million followers, like within a few months. Like he barely even had to try. The rest of us, we have to think about gathering people. Think of your business page as a place where people can gather to either talk about your business, the things that your business are doing, or maybe it could be industry related. If you're in insurance, for example, you could invite realtors and mortgage people to gather and talk about issues that Massachusetts homeowners face, or there's, think about getting people together that have like minds that can kind of socialize on these things. So let's revisit. We've created a business page. We've invited some people to like it. we're starting to think about posting, right? So I always say, when you're in digital marketing and you're using a platform, when you know the rules of the platform that they set out or what their goals are, you're going to do better. This is no exception for Facebook. Facebook makes money by displaying ads, okay? As you're scrolling through your feed and an ad pops up, whether you see it or you click on a link or whatever, Facebook is making money. They are going to discourage content that links out of Facebook. Why? Because now you've ended that Facebook experience and the person doesn't keep scrolling to see more ads. It's not a published thing. It's just like a known thing. And I would encourage you to try it. Make a post with a link and then do another post without a link and compare the results. I've done it for years and it's a thing. So when you create your content, you want to think of ways that you can get someone to do something without leaving Facebook. And I see a lot of people just paste a link into Facebook and hit enter, and Facebook will pull in an image and the link. You're not going to get hardly any reach that way. We want to think about a nice graphic. Maybe you paste a phone number. Maybe you say, send me a message on Facebook, right? And we'll get into ways on how we can do that. The second thing to remember here, which is super important, Facebook is only going to serve content to people who think they will like your content or they've recently interacted with it. Now, you shouldn't get discouraged if no one's clicking the like button. If Facebook is smart enough, so if you're scrolling, I don't know if you can see my phone here because I'm on a green screen. If I'm scrolling and I stop at your post for a few seconds, and then I start scrolling again, Facebook says that person had an interest in that content. If you start looking at the comments and commenting, Facebook says, wow, that person really liked that content. Let's say I'll switch gears to, I do work for a climate organization. If I'm reading a lot of climate crisis content, right, and you publish something about making a donation to our organization, Facebook might say, I don't know if Dale likes this, but if you talk about the climate crisis and you have a climate picture and then you encourage someone to donate, Facebook's going to kind of bucket that content and then say, I think Dale has interacted with this type of content before. I'm actually going to show him this piece of content. This just reiterates that if you have 100 followers on your business page, not all 100 people might see that content. And this is really important why in that first step, we want to invite people who are going to be interested in our content. If you invite your best friend, they're probably going to like it because they're your best friend. But if you just start inviting random people and they're not interacting with your content, you're going to gain a follower, but they're probably not going to see your content. And I know this is a really heavy concept. So I'm going to take a break here and let everyone digest that for a second. And I don't know if we have any questions we want to answer, Dennis, or I should keep moving here.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. I know I'm talking really fast here. I've got a lot of content I want to get through. If you're active, so the last part of the Facebook algorithm, i.e., how does it show content to people? If you're active on Facebook, whether personally and in business, you should like, comment, and share other people's content. I call it a conspiracy. You could call it a good business practice. If I'm actively participating in Facebook, when I share something as a creator, as a person who's put content out there, Facebook, in theory, will reward me for being a participant on the network, okay? I know that's kind of a weird concept. So if I'm a business and I follow 20 other businesses and I'm always liking and sharing and commenting on their content, and those people are following me, when I post my content, Facebook says, well, these people already have kind of a connection here. They've been kind of connecting before. I'm going to re-show that content to this person or to this other business, okay? So the other thing here is I would encourage you, if you're going to participate in social media, you kind of need to know what's going on either in your community or your industry. So it's just a good best practice to not just go out there and throw content up and leave, or to not just keep scrolling and no one ever knows you're there. Participate, be part of the social side of Facebook. Okay, I love to recap every slide so we don't get lost. We've created a business page. We've invited some people to like the page. We kind of have we have our goals. I know the kind of people I want to interact with or who I want to be interested in my content. I've got some revenue or some business goals that my content should support in the process. It's time to start posting, right? I'm going to encourage you to experiment. I'm going to encourage you to embrace failure. And I'm going to encourage you to look for indicators that something is going right and to build upon that, okay? You're not going to be, you may or may not be successful right away. Try going live on Facebook. So if you haven't used Facebook Live, it's only available from the phone. It's an option when you go to post. When you go live, it's gonna say, what is this live about? You're gonna type in something and then you're gonna hit the live and it's gonna say 3, 2, 1. And then you're actually gonna be, whatever you're doing, whatever your camera captures, it's gonna be streamed live to Facebook. Now, Facebook likes this feature because they're trying to promote more video and it's hard for people to create video. Well, it's easier just to go live and start talking, right? Now remember, your content has to align with your goals and your audience and get them interested. Sometimes I've just gone down to the beach in the morning at the sunrise and caught the sunrise as a live feed and say, good morning, everyone, it's Monday. Had a great weekend, really looking forward to the day, and I'll just set my phone and I'll keep it on for a couple minutes. And then Facebook will actually notify people that follow your page that you have gone live, and they'll encourage them to join that live. And they can actually comment with you. And now you can actually invite people to do the live with you. So it's fun, like you could have a little conversation, talk about something while the sun's rising. You could be talking about something happening in your industry, right? If this scares you to death, which it did for me, you could create a video. When COVID hit and we lost a lot of face-to-face, we lost our live events, I did a lot of Zoom calls. I would jump on a Zoom with someone and we would just talk about something. I hated Zoom. I was so embarrassed. I had just had an Invisalign put in at the time. I have them in now, but I couldn't speak. I was slurring my words. It was so embarrassing, but I was like, you know what? I have to learn this. This is what people are telling me to do. And I think I got okay at it. I just go down with Zooms and I talk to people and I record them and then I would just post that Zoom. I thought I was failing. After about 6 months, I had a couple calls that, hey, I've been watching your Zooms on Facebook for 6 months. I want to talk to you about doing something. And I was like, great. Here I am thinking the whole time nothing's working. People are watching it, right? So maybe you're better at recording something and taking multiple takes. It doesn't have to be long. It could be a minute. I've done 30-second Zoom recordings. I've done 10-minute Zoom recordings. Play around with it. See what people like. You can put subtitles on videos, which I would recommend. There's a free tool called kapwing.com. I use. Subtitles are great. Some people don't have audio. Obviously, you have people who are deaf, and subtitles help. That's a free tool that will automatically add subtitles to your videos. So try a video with the subtitles. See how that does versus the non-video. Always post a graphic. Always post something visual. I'm a big person on visual. And there's one exception to that. I'll tell you later on down. When you post a graphic, try to keep the graphic on brand with your company. If you're a serious company, I might not use a cartoony graphic. I might use something, maybe a close-up of a photo. I'll zoom in on a photo of something and I'll capture something in a photo. Faces always work great. Something about someone's face on Facebook, you'll tend to get more people to see your content. Sometimes I'll have a graphic and I'll put like colored text over it, something kind of fun. And I'm just playing around. I'm seeing what's working, what isn't. I have one client, an insurance client. We just put text. We'll put like a safety, like a teen driver safety tip. And it'll be one sentence. And those, for some reason, do the best for that customer. I have no idea why. I've managed dozens of social media campaigns. Just for some reason, his audience, his geography, just the small tips and text work great. As I already mentioned, post to face. At Cape and Plymouth Business, and in a lot of businesses, depending on the business, if this is right for you, always try to tag someone. So we're a media company, right? One of my rules that we came up with is we only post if we can tag another business or another professional, right? I almost never, probably 1 in 200 posts, I'll try to sell something. And maybe that's because I'm sales adverse, and maybe I should be doing, you could maybe argue that I should be selling more on social media, but I want to get people involved. That whole thing is getting people involved. So when I post something, I want to tag that person. When you tag that person, you're doing two different things. You're allowing a visitor to click. And if you don't know what a tag is, I can show you that. Basically, you click in your post, you tap you do Shift-2, the @ sign, and you start to type out their name, and if they have a business Facebook page, it will come up and you can have them tagged in that post. Visitors can go and learn more about that business, right? The business or the Facebook page that you're tagging, they can always, they'll get a notification that you tag them. More than likely, if they have someone running their social media who knows what they're doing, engaging these practices, they'll come back and they'll thank you for that tag. And now you're on their radar, okay? This is a really important way to build a community. Remember, think about gathering, not following. And again, this is just my advice. People like Will Smith, they can do the following. They just do stuff and people love it. For us, I think, for me and my personality, that doesn't work. I'm trying to gather people. I'm going to stop here for a second and catch a breath and see. So there is one question here I'll address really quickly if it's okay, Dennis. How does a Facebook compare to creating a blog following? So I think what this question means is people like to read blogs. I think blogging is kind of a dying art unless you're doing it for the purposes of getting found in Google. When you create a blog post, in my opinion, not a lot of people subscribe to blogs anymore. Like I subscribe to blogs and I get updates, but I don't really do it that often. Most people subscribe to newsletters now, which contain links to blogs. So what I would do personally, I still create blogs, but then I create little summaries and I paste it on Facebook. And I say, if you want to learn more about the blog, visit our website. Or I'll do a video about the blog. I'll talk about the blog and encourage someone to read it. A blog is typically read only. I know some people allow comments. Facebook is a much more interactive, participatory, visual experience over a blog. So I hope that helps. We always start with our blog. We link to it from our newsletter, and then we also link to the newsletter and to the blog from our social media. So that way our content is we're getting coverage no matter where someone is following us. So I hope that helps. And then someone else here, Stephen wrote, I create video for business with allmediapro.com. Thanks for the tip, Stephen. Next question I get a lot is, when should I post? And we're going to look at Facebook Insights in a few minutes. It will actually tell us what posts are doing better when, and there's a time element to that. So again, you're going to experiment, right? You're just going to start throwing things at the wall and see how they work. See what is working, what isn't. You have to use some your interrogative nature or your inquisitive nature to figure out, what could have worked or what didn't work in this post. And one of them is definitely time. So I'm always conscious of the news. If there's a tragedy in the news, I don't post, okay? If there's some huge news cycle happening, like maybe the Super Bowl is happening and people are online and they're looking and they're talking about it, I'll post because I know more people are online. Think about the day of the week. So consider that a post only has 2 to 3 days max on Facebook. Plan ahead, right? Think about, you know, if you're promoting an event, you need to be thinking about this a few weeks in advance. Is your post, like, what's the relevancy of that post, and when does the relevancy of that post really expire? Okay. And if you're doing events, I'm going to suggest that you do a Facebook event. I have a slide on that coming up. The insights are going to tell you also when your fans are online, most days of the week and times, and we'll see that. So I'll give you a great example. My family owns a bakery. It's a summer-only bakery. It's located on Cape Cod. And my social media strategy was Cape Cod goes Saturday to Saturday, or not so much anymore, but people come on Saturday, they stay for a week. People come over the bridge on Friday to have a weekend. People go home Sunday night or Monday to go back to their regular week. And then midweek is always slow for us. Tuesday, Wednesdays were slow days. So my strategy was Friday was hey, awesome. It's weekend time, people. Everyone coming over the bridge, drive safe. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Here's what we're up to for the weekend. On Saturday morning, I posted, thanks to everyone who came for the week. Sorry you have to go home. For those going home, hope you have a safe journey. We hope to see you next year. Thank you. Towards the end of the day, I would welcome the new people coming for their week. Hey, everyone. If you're coming here for the week on vacation, awesome for you. Hope you have a great week. Here's some stuff going on in Dennisport this weekend. Here's what we're up to. Here's our hours. You know, we hope to see you. And then midweek, when it was slow, I would actually boost my ads, which we're not going to talk about here because we're not talking about spending money. But when it was slow, I would post on Tuesday and I would drop some money on it so that I would get some interest midweek. That was a great strategy for us. We had goals. I identified the kind of people I wanted to see our content, what would make them interested. If you're coming on Cape for the weekend and you've got a local talking about what's going on, you might have some interest in that. So, you know, that's an example of time to post, working in the strategy, working in, you know, our revenue goals were obviously to sell breakfast foods. It all kind of tied in really nice together. So I want to shift gears a little bit to talk a little bit more about community building. In the beginning, we invited people to like our page through Facebook, through a newsletter, through asking someone. I mentioned that you can actually follow businesses as a business. So let's say you have Joe's Coffee Shop. Well, if Joe's Coffee Shop follows Bill's Nightclub or Amy's Nightclub, whatever, that's a nice match. A breakfast place is following a night place. Those people can really connect well online. They don't compete. They're kind of in the same hospitality industry. They get notifications when you share their stuff or when you mention them in your posts. Think about finding 10 business pages in your area that align with your business in some way, that you can, who are active, that you can start to nurture a Facebook relationship with. I say 20 minutes a day. I know that's kind of hard. Maybe start with 30 minutes a week. In this, I give you the instructions here. I don't have time to go through a live demo, but after you identify these pages and you like them as your page, you can actually interact with their profiles as your business. So if Joe's Coffee Shop posts something and Cape and Plymouth Business Media likes it, and they're like, oh, we love Joe's Coffee Shop. We go there, you know, every day, or we always send people there. Or if I'm a real estate agency, like, oh, we tell all of our rental, our summer rental people, Joe's Coffee Shop is a place to go. When Joe starts seeing that over and over, that person who's doing that starts to think about you as well. It's a really nice way to kind of build a community online. It's nice to interact with the page personally, but as your business, people are going to see that. Plus, if you comment on Joe's Coffee Shop's post as your business, other people following Joe's Coffee Shop are going to see your name and then the comment you made. Sometimes I'll just put a heart emoji or I'll put a thumbs up. You don't have to get real like in depth with this. This is social media. You can just wave hi. It's okay. I'm going to skip the live demo on the following pages because Facebook has changed. Every time I do this, they change the way to do it, and I don't want to stumble around and lose time. I have a Facebook video that I can send you after. Unfortunately, it's not linked here. I can send you after on how to follow those pages if you're stumbling with that. Oh, actually, I have it in the video here. Some people can't. Some people, this is in a different area, and some people can only do it through a phone. So the way you do it on a phone, and I'm going to play this little video here. You can come back. You want to tap on your pages, and then you want to choose your page. When the pages page loads, you want to choose your page. So I chose the second option here. And then you want to click. Sometimes you have to scroll these things over and there'll be a more button. I don't know why they do this. Now, these are the pages that I'm actually following as Cape and Plymouth Business. And when I like that, you see that, I don't know if you caught that animation. I'm actually commenting here as Cape and Plymouth Business Media. So after I type this, I just said, great tip. Now, when people come to this page, I'm going to stop the video. They can see my logo. They can actually click to my profile. This is a whole new audience now. This Cafe Insurance. Anyone who sees this post is going to see that I made that comment. Okay. Really easy way you can get people to turn on to your business. This is a great point of the webinar. I didn't say it at the beginning. This is not meant to be a manipulative exercise. I do not encourage people just to go spamming so that you can get recognition from other businesses. This is genuine. This is your gathering. This is your community. You want to gather a small group of people that you actually interact and have a relation, when I say relationship, a business social relationship with, rather than just spamming a bunch of people and getting them to follow you. So I really want you to take that part to heart. And then I can actually send this post to people. I can share it on my feed, which the video is showing you now. I can send it to a friend. So like, let's say maybe I had a friend that would, maybe a business colleague was asking me about insurance. And I can actually send this post to them and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I saw this insurance post. We were just talking about this the other day. Again, building a relationship with people, right?
Dale, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
From Ron. Is it possible to transfer followers from a previous Facebook account to a new Facebook account?
Yes and no. You can merge business pages. You can merge business pages, but you can't transfer followers. And I'll give you a real example why. Let's say I made up a fake nonprofit that helps blind people with cancer. And if you follow this profile, when I get to 1 million followers, I don't know, Geico is going to give us $1 million to help blind kids. You get all these people to follow your page, and then you just transfer the page to, Joe's phone company. You've just kind of duped, that process allows a duping to happen kind of. So what you have to do is a person has to be an administrator of both business pages, and then you have to contact Facebook to merge those pages into one. If they're really separate businesses, you might get some pushback on it. If it was like someone created a business page and you don't have access to it anymore, and now you've got this new business page and it's like the same name and you can verify that both things are the same, Facebook should help you merge the two, but that's going to be your really only option.
Dale, there was a second question that came in from Maura. Can you touch on how to run promos, giveaways to build followers?
I can. So typically what people will do is there are services out there that will allow you to do this. A really easy way to do it is to tell people, I'm going to run a giveaway. I want you to post something on your social media. I want you to tag us, and I want you to use this hashtag, Dale's giveaway, or I'm sorry, Maura's giveaway, whatever the business name is, hashtag, Maura's giveaway. Then what you can do is you can go to Facebook and you can search that hashtag, and it will show you everybody that used that hashtag. Now, the question becomes, what do you do with that list? Facebook isn't going to give you a spreadsheet of everybody. You're going to have to transfer the names, or you're going to have to, like I said, use this third-party service. A really easy way to do it is, have a sign up on your website and you promote it through social media. If you, on the sign up thing, you give them a link, and you're doing kind of an honor system at that point. But third-party services are going to be the easiest way to run a promotion, unless you do the hashtag thing, which includes a lot of manual work. So unfortunately, I wish I had a better usable answer for you. Do we want to keep going?
Yes.
The other thing, just to be honest with you, thinking about giveaways to build followers, you want to make sure your followers are going to be interacting with the content you produce. If Facebook sees that you have a lot of followers and they're not reading your content, that's going to work against you. So really think about tailoring your giveaway to attracting the right kind of people that follow you. Most people will tell you you're going to get followers by adding value or giving back somehow to the community. People want to support what you're doing. I would encourage you, in your long-term plan, think about those things. Those will give back to you over time, right? So I would encourage you in that planning process, think about, excuse me, how could I get people to follow me long-term? Also, if the giveaway is going to cost you money, you could just drop money on a like campaign, say for $100, and you could get maybe 100 likes just by presenting ads to people. So consider that as well. If you do these things and you're interacting with other businesses and you're monitoring these things, I think you're going to have a steady growth in followers regardless. So I'm going to keep going here because we're going to run out of time. As you're interacting with people, they're going to mention your business. Hootsuite is a great way to monitor this, but Facebook has a way also. For some reason, for me, I can only do it from the desktop. You go to Facebook, you click more, you click community, and then there will be mentions in there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because we're running out of time here. Events. So I have mixed feelings about events with Facebook. Some people will create an event for a sale. They'll create an event for an in-person meeting. They'll create an event for a webinar such as this. The downside to events is if not a lot of people are interacting with it, it looks like the event is a failure. The flip side is if you're posting about events in a post, Facebook doesn't like that. They want you to set up an event. Your posts about your event are going to get less reach. Here's an event that I ran. I spent a couple $100. This says $100. I think I may have spent more than a couple $100. It's for our Enterprising Women event. It reached 11,000 people for a couple $100. I was really happy. I kept trying to promote my posts and doing things, and they kept getting declines. So I was like, fine, I'll create the event. The event did pretty well. If you're charging money and you're doing other things, you want to link out of the Facebook event. We use Constant Contact. Running your actual event through Facebook, I don't have a lot of experience with. I can't help you with that. But promoting a webinar and you just put the Zoom link in there or putting the Constant Contact link in there, I've done it. It works great. I would consider you try it. Private groups, and I'm going to try and boogie through this here. We have a private group. It's called Cape and Plymouth Business Networking. I haven't done a heck of a lot with it recently. Shame on me, but we've got 268 followers. When you create a group and you invite people to like that group, Facebook's more likely to push a post to that group. Now, a group is completely separate from a business page. It's something you create similar to a business page. You create rules, you decide if it's open or not. If you have a topic that you want to talk about, this is not a sales thing. This is a topic-based thing you should be congregating people. Having a private group is a really great way to kind of get even more exposure on Facebook. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to invite people to join, but this really has to be hyper focused in content nature. For us, it's people who live in Cape Cod or the Plymouth area who want to talk about business. That's our common thread. All right, insights. This is a really big one. You posted your business page, you're interacting, you're making posts. You want to go to your insights page. It'll be on the left side of Facebook. And if you don't know how to get there, this link is probably no good anymore. I'm going to put it in the chat anyways. I would just Google, how do you get to Facebook Insights? And it will show you, Google will tell you the most recent way to get there. Because unfortunately they do change it around periodically. I'm going to paste it in there. What I want to impress upon you here is, if you look here in this screenshot, it tells you when people are online, okay? And it will tell you all of your posts that you've made in the last 30 days. And I think it goes even further. It tells you when you publish it, what the post is, was it a video or a graphic, how many people it reached, and then what was the engagement. And you're going to see this all over the map. We've got a few thousand followers. Sometimes it will reach 30 people. Sometimes it'll reach 600 people. What's important here? You want to look at the visuals you used. Was it a live? Was it a video? Was it a graphic? Did it have text on the graphic? I recommend pulling off all the text on the graphic. What time of day was it? What was going on in the news cycle? Was it the first back to school day after vacation? Was it July 4th? Was it nice out? Was it raining out? You need to start to think about what your followers are doing when they're online, when they're interacting, and start to tailor your post times around this. Is this a lot of work? Kind of, but I think after you get in the groove of it, it just becomes second nature. And it's not like you have to do it all the time. We do it a couple times a year. I've gotten pretty good at it now where I don't have to spend a ton of time. I just review it once a month, really quickly to see what's going on. And then maybe once a year, I'll dive into it. My last tip here is, this is a fellow by the name of Gary Vee. It took him 10 years to become popular. He has tens of millions of followers now. He says most people do it for a month and give up. I told you to embrace failure. What you try the first time might not work. What you try the second, 10th time might not work. The reality is people use Facebook. It's not going away anytime soon. It may eventually go away, but right now that's where people's attention are. I really encourage you to learn it. You're also going to be building skills that you can use when the next platform comes around. Some other things, after you get your business page going, I would encourage you to learn about the Business Manager. We don't have time to get into that today. I already shared my story about how I was posting videos. No one was saying anything. And then 6 months later, I started getting contacts from people for business. Last question here, and I know we're out of time. How do I know my plan isn't working? You don't. I think it's just a gut feeling. Give it 6 months, tweak your plan along the way, talk to your customers, get their feedback, carve out time, learn the platform, click around, see what else you can find. And that's it. We are right at the time here. I do have a couple minutes for some last minute questions, or again,
Dale, there
There
was one question on when you were talking about how to run promos, giveaways to build followers. There's a follow-up question when you mentioned third parties. Can you recommend a third party?
I'll tell you, if you want to contact Dennis or Jim with your email, I don't have one I can give you right now. I'm happy to do some research for you. If you want to send a follow-up email to either Jim or Dennis, whoever you got the invite from, I'll do some research for you. I personally haven't done a giveaway through social media in years, so I couldn't answer that. I'm sorry.
I put my email address into the chat. This is Jim Danhauser. So anybody who has follow-up questions, please feel free to email me And I will make sure that Dale has the opportunity then to follow up. It just keeps Dale from getting deluged with emails. And we always appreciate and want to respect his time.
Thank
I know
you.
that somebody else asked if they were going to get a copy of the slides. We will send a link to the recording, which will allow you to view the slides, including Dale's spreadsheet as you go through them.
Yep. And the last thing is, if you want to dive deep, you know, I'm a volunteer, time's free. You can set up a time to dive into your specific problem. And there's one more question. Does Facebook tell you when to post? No, it doesn't. It tells you when people are online. It tells you how your past posts do. There are tools out there. I don't personally use them. I think Loomly is one. Actually, that's not true. We use Loomly. Loomly is one. Delivereit is one. I think Hootsuite does this also. They're paid tools. They will guess when the most of your followers are online and post at that time as well. And that is a good tool to have. I personally like reviewing the insights as well. So I congratulate you. That was a lot of talking and you stuck it through. And I wish you the best on your Facebook journey.
Thanks, Dale.
All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Good luck.
Great job, Dennis.
All righty. I'm not sure I hit the record button until I was into my slide presentation, but you should
That's
have
okay.
the entire presentation.
I think we do.
Okay, and I can end the poll.
Yes. And I can just go into the poll and access the information later.
All right, well,
Thanks a bunch.
sure thing.
You bet. Bye.
Bye now.